After years of lawsuits and very heated debate, California broke ground today on the most expensive public works project in state history.
The controversial $68 billion bullet train that supporters claim will one day link L.A. and San Francisco in under 3 hours. KCAL 9 political reporter Dave Bryan joins us now with more on the groundbreaking and the many questions that are still unanswered. Dave.
You know, you can tell a lot about a governor's priorities by what he does on the first day in office after he's been sworn in, and we'll see that in just a minute. The groundbreaking came 2 years behind schedule and more than 5 years after billions of dollars in state funding were approved by voters for the high-speed rail. And while supporters are hailing today's event, the critics charge a political dog and pony show doesn't answer the serious questions that remain.
Thank you very much.
Less than 24 hours after he was sworn in for his fourth term as governor, Jerry Brown's first stop on the first full day of his new term was a groundbreaking ceremony in Fresno for the controversial $68 billion high-speed rail project.
The high-speed rail links us from the past to the future, from the south to Fresno and north. This is truly a California project bringing us together today.
Brimming with enthusiasm for a project he hopes will be a keystone of his final term in the governor's office, Brown joined other officials in signing a piece of rail that could one day carry the train at speeds exceeding 200 miles an hour between northern and southern California. Fresno Mayor Ashley Swearingen, one of the few Republicans who openly supports the project, was there as well.
This is the day we officially commemorate the beginning of the nation's first high-speed rail project.
But UCLA Distinguished Professor Emeritus Martin Wax, an expert in urban and regional planning, says while many obstacles have already been overcome, there are still a lot of unanswered questions about the bullet train, not the least of which, how will it be paid for?
This is going to cost $68 billion, and so far commitments have been made for something like $12 billion, plus the cap and trade revenues from the cap and trade program in California, which promises $250 million, not billion, per year for as many as 10 and 15 and 20 and 25 years. But that is still quite uncertain.
And while the federal government is kicking in with up to $3 billion in matching funds, Republicans who now control both houses in the new Congress are not likely to invest any more anytime soon. In last year's race for governor, Brown's opponent called it the crazy train.
Jerry Brown's crazy train.
And House Majority Leader Kevin McCarthy from Bakersfield called the train an unworkable boondoggle and told an interviewer on a public affairs program he'll oppose any more funding for the train.
Where in the election did it say the federal government would pay for this?
You'll see to it that the federal government doesn't.
We're $17 trillion. It's not high-speed rail. I don't believe it can be successful, and I don't believe it's the best use of tax dollars' money, so I would not support it.
Cal State LA political science professor emeritus Jaime Regalado, the former head of the Pat Brown Institute, says this is also about legacy for Jerry Brown.
Governor Brown, this is his last chance to be his dad. And I say that because Pat Brown, who was governor from 1959 to 1967, was known as a great builder of California. But he also realizes he would like to do things that are very, very large too, even if he's not around to see them fully accomplished. And one is the bullet train, and of course the other is digging those 2 big water tunnels under the Sacramento Delta.
Well, money isn't the only problem facing the bullet train. The Fresno Bee reports as of last month, only about 100 of the more than 500 parcels of property needed for just the first segment of the train have been acquired so far by the High-Speed Rail Authority. And if the San Joaquin Valley segments of this project are not substantially completed by September 2017, less than 3 years from today, the matching federal funds could then be cut off. So, Sylvia, this thing is far from over yet.